Hi everybody, Orietta here from OriettaStitches, and I decided to forget about trying to capture a video in decent lighting and to film in the evening. So I have like a sketchy light situation, but I'm gonna try and see what we can do, and if this is too awful, it will probably never get uploaded. I'm upstairs in my bedroom in what I now created like a small crafting area for my sewing machine and stuff. I might put some picture at the end of the video to show you how it looks like. It's pretty comfortable, and it was the only spot in the house where I could get a little space for where I could leave a project down for some time. So it worked out pretty good. I haven't used it a whole lot yet, but I have big plans. So since last time we spoke, I have done very different kind of things, mainly knitting and some sewing. And I started the stitching project, but never just didn't went past 50 stitches, so it's not even worth talking about. So I'm just gonna show you all my progress and see how it goes. So last time we spoke, I was working on those socks. I have my computer in front of me with all the information, so sorry if I keep looking down, but otherwise I can't remember shit as usual. So last time we spoke, I was working on those socks. The pattern is Vanilla is the New Black, and it's knit in a ball of Schoppewolle, the Zauberball Crazy, in the color Zimsnecke. I just can never say. Anyway, those are done. They were very close to be finished last time, and I just got both done. They are those with this weird, triangular heel. They were really fun to make, and I love the yarn so much that I bought more, and I will use in the near future for more socks. So those are done. I finished them like a week after we last spoke. And after I finished those, I decided to, I was tempted and tickled by a mystery sock knit along that was called To Dragon with Love. And it had this very cool picture that reminded me a lot about the Welsh dragon. And as you know, one of my best friends live in Welsh, so I was kind of curious about this, and I just wanted to try. And they turned out to be really, really cool. So I want to talk a little bit about how I felt about the mystery knit along, because my entire time I've been stitching, I always been very, very away from mystery stitch along. The only mystery I've ever done, and I will always do, is the one that Abby Gurdon pull out, because hers are always a lot of fun. But other than that, I pretty much trust her design. Other designer, I would never do a mystery, because I kind of need to know. I'm very picky. I'm not, I have a very defined taste, which is very, eclectic and various, but if I have to make it, I have to like it. So I don't do mystery in stitching. Although for knitting, I have been finding out that I like to do mystery knit along a lot. So this sock came out in 4 parts. The pattern is called To Dragon with Love, and the designer is Becky Green. And I decided to try for the first time to do a different color for actually it was the second time. I'm really out of practice, I'm sorry. Anyway, I have a different color for heel, toe and cuff. And I used for the green a color called the Nice Green by Mothi and the Squid. It's her sock yarn. And the contrasting color, I use a skein of yarn that my friend Linda, Barbanit, Epic Barbanit Story from her channel, she had sent me when I won the contest to propose the name for her channel. And it's a Icelandic yarn from Vivid Wool. I don't know the color. So the way this pattern came out, we got the first week, they gave us this part, so the cuff and the first pattern for the leg. Then the second week, we received this part, so the second pattern for the leg and the heel. And then the third week, we received this part, which is like part of the food with the fourth pattern. And then the last week, we got the last pattern and the toe. So all in all, of course, I forgot downstairs my sock blocker, so I'm just gonna do this. It came out like this very cool, different designs, and they finish with this like let's see if I can, there, you can see better, this cool like diamond shape design. And they have been so much fun, because just I know the only thing I knew was that I was making socks, and then I just, you know, went with whatever came, and I loved them. They turned out super cool. I got two, so they are completely finished, and I really like them. So those are the second pair of finished sock I have to show. Then in this time, after I did these socks, I've been working on a few different things, and one of them is another finish. Unfortunately, I don't have it here to show you, because it was a sample and a test knit I did for my friend Liz, which is the beautiful and colorful mind behind Trellis Color is Power website. She's a yarn dyer, and she has recently ventured into designing. And she knew I was going to Barcelona Knit Festival, and so she asked me if I would knit for her a sample for her one of a new pattern she was thinking. So I had like a couple of months, and I said, oh, sure, I can do a shawl in a month, no problem. Yeah, right. I finished this shawl the day before I flew, and I blocked it overnight. And I was like, the last week, I was so scared that I would mess up and had to rip it out, because I have absolutely no time to redo anything. So I used a lot of lifeline, and it was just crazy. So she sent me the yarn to make the sample, and it's a brioche pattern. She asked me if I wanted to pick color, and I said, no, I really like you to surprise me. She knows what kind of color I like, and she knew, you know, more or less. So she knew, she had an idea for her sample, so I thought it was a good, you know, combination to let her surprise me. And she did really good, because she sent me 2 skein of her sock yarn. It's her Ares base. It's a I believe, I don't have the labels here, I'm really not organized today, I'm sorry, but I believe it is a 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And she sent me 2 colors which I really liked. The first color is called Requiem for a Dream, and it's this nice gray with speckled of all kind of color. Let's see if we can make it look real. That's pretty close. You can see it has speckle of green, yellow, purple and stuff. And the other is called Pollock, and oops, it's this nice white base with some pinkish tone and a whole bunch of speckles of all sort of like rainbow color. And the 2 colors together worked really well. So as I said, during the months of September, October, November, I had all sort of trouble. My migraine pestered me quite a bit, and I had work problem, and I had a lot of traveling. I had guests for 2 weeks in the house, so we had to we did some traveling with them, show them around, and you know, my knitting time was pretty much zero. So somehow I managed to finish the shawl, and I took it with me to Barcelona Knit Festival, and it was on her booth where she was selling her yarn together with my Rebel shawl, which was also made with her yarn. And it was such an honor and so weird to think that, you know, something I made was there for everybody to see, to represent the beauty of her yarn and her pattern. And I don't have the shawl here with me right now because she needed to take it with her to Athens in order to take some decent picture. The plan was that we were going to take picture in Barcelona, but the entire weekend we were there, the weather was pretty bad. It rained a lot, it was very gloomy. So she did try to take a picture, but she wasn't very satisfied. So I said, you know, don't worry, take it with you home, and whenever you're done with your photo shooting, you can send it back later on. I'm sure I will find some yarn to buy so we travel together. Of course. So I'm gonna show you a picture right now from my iPad, and I'm probably going, if I can manage, I attach a couple of pictures of it at the end of the video. So here's the shawl. As you can see, it has this very cool zigzag motif across, and it has a very nice shape considering it was just two skeins of fingering yarn. And I really loved it. It was really fun to knit. It was pretty easy. I would say it's a shawl that even a person that is learning brioche can do, because I could knit it pretty much in front of the TV. It wasn't very hard to follow as a pattern. It was very well explained, and it's also a kind of pattern that is very forgiving. So if you miss, you know, a couple of repeat here or something there, nobody's gonna know. So ask me how I know. So that was finished, and was really fun. And I finished, as I said, the day before I traveled to Barcelona, and it was really good. And I will get it back pretty soon, I'm sure. So something else I can show you. Oh, something that distracted me while I was working on it was the new Stephen West Mystery knit-along that for the fall 2018. Of course, I signed up because I decided that only if I had yarn from my stash that could kind of go with the color suggestion, I would do it. And of course I did, because I'm starting to get quite a substantial stash. So I started, and I haven't got very far because I was, of course, busy. I had to finish the shawl for Liz, so this went like in the back burner. But I have about half of the clue one done, and I started over. It's not a mystery anymore, as of course it has been completed in the month of between October and November. But I really like the end product that I saw other people, and I'm really enjoying this part, and I can't wait to start the next part. So this is like, it's a 5 color shawl, and see if I have all the color. Yeah, I should have it here on my Ravelry, so let's see if I can give you some decent information. So as I said, it was all yarn I had in my stash. And okay, so the first color, which is my main color, is this skein of Plymouth yarn Estilo. It's called in the color Lime Mix. It's this like a natural color with some burgundy and lime green speckle. This is my color, like a main color. And then I have 4 more colors that kind of go in a gradient from lighter to dark. And the second color I'm using is again another trellis, and this is called Energy Saving Mode. It's in her Ares sock base, and it's again a speckly yarn that is mainly on the green and yellow tone. So that's number 2. The third color is a Knit Pick straw in the color Poppy Field. So it's this nice, very solar yellow. And color number 4 is a yarn I bought in one of the UK market night, and it's from Green Lambkin yarn in the color Glowing Beach, and it's like this yellow, orange, and it has some brown and all those very warm, nice color toward orange. And my last color is a skein of yarn that I bought in the US, which is Candy Skein Yummy Fingering in the color Cranberry Sauce. And as this go to substitute what Stephen used, like the baby melted suri, that very fluffy stuff, I decided to pair it with a skein of this mohair, and this is Adria Field Kid Seta. It's a mohair and silk blend. So let's see if I can show all of the color together. Let's see. This is not going to go end well. Well, see. There, almost there, almost there. Okay. So those are the 5 colors I'm using, and let's throw them all in. I'm really liking how they turn out, and I have done some, mental projection of what's gonna happen next, and I think it's gonna turn out to be like a pretty cheery shawl that I can wear in the winter, and it has all those nice bright solar color, which will remind me of summer, which is my favorite season. So I just got this back on the needle yesterday, and I hope to be working on it again. I will start very soon to work again on it. It's a little bit, it's not hard, but it's not mindless. I need to like concentrate when I work on it, so it's not going to be very fast going, I think. But I never have, as for stitching, I never have a plan. I never have a set day. Well, apart from when I was knitting the sample for Liz, I just knit whatever I feel like when I feel like. So that's the same approach I had with stitching. So another thing I started after we last spoke is a pair of socks for my husband, and let me tell you, he has very big feet. So I said, okay, I want to make you a pair of socks, but as they're gonna be large, I'm not gonna make you long socks. And he said, yeah, I'm good, I like shorties. So I decided to make him a pair of Rose City rollers, and the designer is Mara Catherine Briner, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm using a yarn I used before, which is this yarn I bought in Turkey. It's a self-striping, and it's a Alize Superwash 100, and it's in the color 4447, which is all those autumnal color, which are really nice. And I did some calculation. There are some resources online that kind of give you an idea, depending on the circumference of your foot, how many stitches you need. And according to that, I had to do 80 stitches. Yes. My socks, like this sock, is 56. So it's a big sock. So I finished yesterday the first one, which it actually went much faster than I anticipated, considering I was working on it only like I work on the plane in Barcelona and a little bit before, and then like a couple of evenings. But as I work with my shorties, my Chaugu shorties, I just knit. I never stop, and I don't have to manage a cable or nothing. So it really, stockinette socks goes really fast. So this is what it looked like. I did a heel flap and a gusset kind of heel, which is like my favorite, but it was also the heel suggested by the pattern. I did my own calculation on how many stitches, because of course the maximum number of stitches the pattern arrive is 72, so I kind of had to make it up myself, but it wasn't really hard. And we tried it on yesterday, as I closed the top yesterday in the afternoon, and it fit pretty good. I think I could have done a few stitches less, so I think next time I knit him a pair of socks, I will go down to 76 and do a little shorter. But all in all, as he's going to use those as house socks, they're going to be pretty good. So the first one is finished, and he used a surprisingly small amount of yarn. I think, if I remember correctly, about 36 grams. So I wasn't quite sure if a skein of yarn was going to be enough, but if I stick to shorties, it will, and it's really good, because so now I know I can use like more expensive yarn and make him a pair of socks, and I won't need to skein, which was like kind of the purpose of using this leftover yarn I had. So I'm pretty happy with this. I have more yarn, and I will do its brother, probably cast on tonight, so I can keep working on it. The next project I have done a tiny bit work is my Zweig by Kathleen Hunter sweater, and this is also in one of my mini moon sewing, and I really love those bags. They are so cheerful and nice, and I didn't work a lot on the Zweig. I think since last time we spoke, I have done pretty much, I don't know, a few inches on the body. And then I decided that as it was growing, I said, oh, this is gonna be so cumbersome when I knit the sleeve to have all this sweater to manage. So I said, I'm gonna do something really smart and do the sleeve first. Yeah, I didn't thought though that I already have 2 balls of yarn attached to the body because I'm alternating skein. So now I have, yes, a smaller sweater to manage, but I have 2 balls of yarn I have to sit inside. So yeah, a mess. So yesterday I started the sleeve, and I did this much. I started like here, so I'm not doing the crisscross motif on the sleeve. I will do that only on the body. And this is knit in Knit Pick Stroll Tonal in the color Cordial for the body, and the lace part was in the Farmer Daughter fiber in the color half breed, which is like this green and burgundy speckle. And I really like to work on this. The Knit Pick yarn is very soft. I'm kind of afraid it will peel a lot, but it was like the first sweater I did with this kind of seamless construction, so I didn't want to invest a lot. In the meanwhile, I have invested a lot in future sweaters, so yeah. But anyway, it will be nice. And so yesterday I was working, and I had all this yarn and this sweater to manage, and I remember I have seen somewhere, and I'm really sorry, I don't remember on what channel, but or I don't know if it was on a YouTube video or in a Instagram or something, but someone have given a very smart idea. So usually when you knit the sleeve, you have to keep like rotating your bag or your sweater, and everything get in a tangle, and it fall off your lap, and it's like a giant mess. So the idea I have seen was to use one of those things. This is like a salad spinner, you know, it twirl in the middle. Usually it has a top. I don't need the top for the sweater, so I sit my bag inside, and I knit my sleeve, and now I just have to turn, and the bag turn really easy, and I keep the ball I'm working, the one attached to the sleeve, to my side or on the floor, and it made my life so much easier. So I thought to pass along this little tip, because I thought it was really smart. So you just pretty much spin the bag inside the spinner. Easy, but good idea. So that is, I believe, all I have. Oh no, I have one last thing. A while back, I had seen, I follow on Instagram the hashtag Westknits because I'm kind of obsessed with the Stephen West pattern. And one of the posts I captured that way from a person I didn't follow at that point was that a lady was knitting one of his blanket pattern, and the blanket is called A Bit of Iceland. And she thought that she wasn't not enjoying it anymore. She got tired of it. For some reason, she didn't want to work on it anymore. And she was convinced she would never work on it anymore. And so she asked if anybody was willing to adopt it. So I messaged her back and I said that I really liked the project and it was something I would like to try. And but I was about to leave to go on my vacation. So I don't remember if I showed this last time. But anyway, I'm gonna show it anyway. Sorry, I told you I'm not organized today. I'm not really out of practice. So when I came back from my vacation, it was still available. So I adopted it, and look, she has done so much. Now it's all bunched up because the cord is too short. So, you know, it looks like a giant bag right now, but trust me, it is not. It is a blanket. And she has done like this center section in color work, and this stripy section, and this other textured stitch section. And all is left to do is like another border it's like kind of like a meshy design, and the final border, and it's done. And she sent me her whip, and she sent me like this. Oh, have a look at my bag. I'm like 12. And she sent me the entire amount of yarn, and there is like, this bag is like full of yarn. So I'm really looking forward to work on it and see if I can finish it. I purchased my own pattern. And I bought a bigger cord for my interchangeable Chogu, and I will be picking this up soon and see if I can make sense of it, because I really like it, and I would love to have it in the back of my chair where I sit and watch TV and knit. This light. And that is really all I have for knitting, which, you know, it's quite a bit, but knitting is faster than stitching, so I get to finish more stuff. So all I have left to show you is a little bit of my sewing. The first thing I want to show you is a knitting bag I made. I had bought this this fabric in Poland last year, and it was like a upholstery store, fabric for upholstery. And they had this long, like it was like a long stripe, and I thought it was one of those things that you can use to cover, like I don't know if they are, I guess they are still available, but I remember like when I was a kid, we had those chair for the garden that had a wood structure and like a long stripe of fabric where you would lay on. Okay, I think that was meant to be for one of those chairs. But I had bought it and I had thought I could make something on it, and I decided to try to make one of those bags in the same style of the fringe supply bag, or, you know, the mini moon bag that I have. So I just winged it as I do, and I made pockets. It has like 2 pockets inside, and it's a very big bag because it was meant to be for sweater. It's all crooked and crazy, but you know, see, you can see it's longer on this side. But I got his thing here to pulling strings to close it, and I love it. It just came out really good, and it didn't even took me too long to make. It was like an afternoon. Like, it took me longer to think what I needed to do the pockets and, you know, to make it nice than to actually sew it. But with me it's always like that because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just improvise. And speaking of improvising, I had been, you know, wishing I could find a way to learn a little bit more about sewing. And one day I was like browsing Facebook as you do, and they watch you really carefully, and so they know what you're looking for. And sometimes it actually scares me when they do, because I remember one evening I had my phone with me, and my husband was snoring, and I said, "Oh, you're really snoring." Well, the day after, Facebook was trying to sell me stuff to avoid snoring, and I hadn't even typed that. I was just talking, so be careful what you say when you have Facebook around. Anyway, but on that crazy note, I saw this ad for a like quilting patchwork class that was held like an hour away from where I live. So I said, "Oh, that looks," the preview of what you were supposed to make looked pretty good. And so I said, "Oh, that looks nice. Let's try to give them a call and see how much it cost." So it turned out that it was a 2 full day class. They gave you all the material to do the front of the quilt. And the entire amount they asked for was €100, which I thought was really, really good for, you know, the kind of thing we were making, and having someone that might, you know, available to ask things and learn something. So of course I signed up, as you know, I had all the time in the world. Not. And the first time I showed up, it was really funny, because I brought my sewing machine, and I don't know if in your country you have this store, but it's called the Lidl store, Lidl. And it's a low-cost, like German discount store that, besides selling grocery and like cleaning product, also have its own line of power tools, which I love. And they also sometimes sell their own brand of sewing machine. And so that's the sewing machine I have, and it cost me like $75, something like that. So it's a very, you know, basic sewing machine. So far it has done everything I asked her, even more probably than it should. I'm not sure. So I showed up with this machine. Everybody had like very shiny machine that were like a few €1,000 each, with all those equipment, and they had brought stuff they made, and they had this huge, nice, beautiful quilt. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never done anything like that. So I talked to the teacher, which her name is Marta Anzola, and she is really, really good, and I had an excellent experience. So I'm sure when she first saw my sewing machine, and then I told her that I had pretty much zero experience in quilting, and I showed her the few project bags and the little things I made, I'm sure she would kind of like died inside, because she was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a mess. But it didn't turn out that bad. So what happened was that in the first day, she taught us how to do a log cabin square. And this is what, well, of course, first we had to pick the color, which I really suck at, but she helped me. And so I got this fabric that is like little apple, and then all this different shade of red and that green. I didn't want it to be really, really Christmassy. I wanted to be like something I would like no matter the season, because after all this work, I'm probably gonna put it out the entire time. So this was made in 4 blocks, and it has like a million little pieces. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see there. So this, the first day in the 8 hour, this is what I made. And at this point, I was so freaking proud of myself, because look at that, I never done anything like that. And it wasn't even that hard. Well, the first 2 hours, I thought I would just walk away, but you know, I'm stubborn, and if I decide to do something, I'm gonna do it. Even if it come out not perfect, it didn't matter. And in fact, this is not, it's now more square than it was. But when I finished, it was more like a parallelogram, because the last block I was so exhausted and mentally like out of it that I didn't pay enough attention, and it became like much wider than the other. And when I put it together, one side was like almost an inch wider than the top. But it's fine, I don't care. If I can't finish it, I can't, you know, make it work with the second part, I'll just make a project bag or something, I don't care. So 2 weeks later, I went for the second part, and it was a different technique. I think they call it foundation paper piecing in English, but I'm not sure. The class was, of course, in Italian. Well, I am Italian, so I have no problem with that, but I don't know all the translation of the term. So they gave you those piece of paper with the design and numbers, and what you have to do is like to sew following the line, and it's certain sequence to finish it. I'm sure you know much better than me what I'm talking about. Anyway, I finished that part too, and that's the result. I am so impressed. Look at it. I mean, it's like a million little pieces. And I had so much fun. One thing I learned is that to make stuff like this, you have to have an extensive stash. The good thing about this class is that, including in the price, they let you rummage through their boxes and find the little scraps to make all the you know, foreground and background of those parts. And I found some that I really like, kind of like, see if I can show you, like this one. See, it's all postcard, and I said, well, I travel all the time, that's perfect. So I used it here, and I used it on this one, which was supposed to end up on this side, but so not to be so close together. But again, by the time I put the 3 pieces together and sew the border, I was so done that I just asked Marta, can you please do it for me, because I don't want to screw this up. And she actually managed to make it a lot more square than it was at the beginning. So that's my first quilt patchwork. And as you can tell, and well, you know that already if you have been following me for a while, I can't start with beginner project. That would bore me to death. This is the kind of beginner project I go for. Anyway, I was really happy with the result, and as you can see, it's now finished. I have to go back like for a half a day whenever I have time. I'll probably go in January or something to attach the backing, and they will do that for me, because they have a, you know, bigger machine, and they have a steadier hand. And so I'll go there, and they either do it for me or we do it together on their machine, and I will quilt it and attach the back and quilt it and finish it. But you bet it's already displayed in my house with all those hanging thread and everything, because I'm just so proud of it. So that's the last thing I have to show you. This video has been way longer than I intended, and as you know, I don't edit, so you get all the blubbering, and you know, sorry. But if you have been a subscriber for a while, you know that that's what I do. I blubber on until I'm done, and then I say goodbye and throw it in the internet. So I hope be able to upload a video at least once a month as I used to, and show you my update. But I've been having kind of like a busy time, so I can't promise anything, but we'll see what happens. I just hope you enjoyed this, and that the light is terrible. I hope it didn't bother you too much, and I'm just happy to be able to show what I've been doing and let you know that I'm doing really good. I'm just very busy, and I will try to get back as soon as possible. So keep on crafting, and see you soon. Bye.